It's another day of EOSIO weekly update where we talk about EOSIO stuff. Anyway, good morning, guys. We got Chaney Moore coming in later on. He's an important person who has meetings and things. So, of course, we're flexible because, our previous job was we were dancers. Both Jimmy and I were very flexible dancers. It's been a long morning already. I don't know if you could tell that. Jimmy, how are you this morning? Did you mute yourself?
Right, yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. It has been a long day, but yeah, it's been good. And yeah, Chaney should be arriving very soon, which is why we're an hour late today. But that's cool. So while we do that, come tomorrow. I think we have Uplands coming on for NFT game day, and
that's hardcore, man.
And we're also going to do our first little like live on the air NFT giveaway promotion sponsored by EOS Go. So that's going to be pretty interesting and fun. And it could be a mess or it could be awesome. We don't know.
Right. And if you know of any projects that want to do giveaways on our show, you just let them know, because we would love to give away some of their stuff. Not only that, just because Ken is here, and I was doing a little just kind of pop up live with Anders yesterday from inside the Uplift. He rode a rowboat off a giant tower and lived, which was at least as funny as it sounds. I was laughing like a crazy person the whole time. Anyway, Ken retweeted us, and like it went from like 2 people there to 30 people there 5 seconds later. So today I actually bought a bunch of Ken Bosak NFTs. I'm going to give away 3 original Ken Bosak NFTs that I paid money for today, just because he's freaking fantastic. So make sure you share this out. Make sure you invite a few friends to come take a look at it. Make sure you throw your wax account in the comments, and make sure that you just blow Ken Bozak's shit up every time you see it. Retweet that motherfucker every time you see him, because he's awesome. Anyway, Lisa's making some Valentines. If you want to give some away, I mean, yeah, you just fire them at. Well, you know what? We need interns anyway, because I don't always have time to give stuff away. So if you see wax addresses in the comments, by all means, please hook them up with some love as well. So that community cluster thing that kind of escalated a little quickly, Jimmy?
Yes.
Did you know there was only 1 spot left?
Yes, I heard about that on one of your previous shows this week. Yeah,
it was actually. I'm gonna throw the. Hold on here. I finally got around to starting the Telegram channel for the Uplift, which is right there. If you want to grab that, you can see it on the screen because we're fancy like that. You can sort of see it on the screen. I'll show it around later. Anyway, so I got a request this morning for the last one, because I asked everybody, like, who wants the plot just south of Anders, because there's only 1 left, and I think we're going to sell some land around it and then do a second ring, of grants out to communities and stuff, just because it's going really well. I mean, they're everybody wants to be on board with it, which is really, really cool, right? Without people, a metaverse is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. So yeah, somebody wanted to get it.
That's awesome. And you're going to play a promo video, but before you do that, do you want to maybe check backstage? I think Chaney might be there.
Chaney is not. We would see Chaney down here.
Okay.
But I'll wait for a couple seconds if you want to.
No, it's all right. Yeah. Oh, do you want to play the promo?
Yeah, I kind of want to. I'll play it again later too, because I really like it. Anyway, this is who is going to be in the community cluster as the last one.
I'm not the bubble.
Also, sunrises are cool.
I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble.
I'm like maxing my screen up for this.
I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
If I can get my camera set up.
I'm not the bubble. 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 I'm the
So I might end up being just a tad smug today. Because that, like, if we hadn't, and Chaney's trying to get his stuff fixed up here, but yeah, so like if I hadn't had the hour postponed this morning, Jimmy, I wouldn't have been able to get that done.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Like that's pretty big.
It's pretty baller. I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's I like it. So and I think Chaney's coming back, but I guess the issue is on our end, and I'm going to apologize to all future guests, but we really need to fix this because we keep sending people to the Google invite links, and that's on us.
Yeah, so in the we'll talk about it after. In the calendar, we can actually disable that because every time you're setting up these things, it just defaults to having that on there. So yeah. So
for all future guests, that's our bad, and we're gonna probably fix it someday.
So it looks like, and one of the things I'd love to get everyone else's thoughts on this too. So, we were talking right up until the bell, and Blue and I, for this show, because his first take is like, obviously that is an NFT, right? I'm like, well, I mean, it's not right now, whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start. It can't be the NFT land key for that because that's going to Wax, right? Like that Wax is getting some land in Central City if they want it. If they don't, they're bonkers. But I'm sure they do. That's a terrible joke. Anyway, so they're getting the land, so that they can't be the land key NFT. But we want to make that as like an art kind of community drop NFT, and we're going to put it up on sale for a ridiculous amount of money. And hopefully somebody could buy it. But what we want to do with it is send half of all of the income from these art NFTs that are coming right out of the uplift right to the rewards pool. So the rewards pool is growing all the time. Anyway, it looks like Chaney is good to go now.
I think I got it now, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you. Cool. Sorry about that. That's we apologize.
No worries.
We're around here, so
I'm just having fun by myself in Google.
That's what she said.
Sorry. So it's great to have you here. I guess I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, but like here's what I know. I remember you from like early days in the space. You were one of the first people I think that put together kind of a links of all links for EOS airdrops shortly after the mainnet launch, I remember you as also a regular guest on EOS Radio, also Everything EOS. You've appeared. I like to describe you as the critical yet promoter of EOS, especially on the mainnet. And it's kind of, I like your view of EOS because it's why I chose the cover image to put the backdrop of your picture on. It's your view of EOS, in my opinion, is frigid yet beautiful. And I think that's.
Thank you. Yeah, put that into NFT. I want that that intro into an NFT. No, I appreciate that. I had forgotten. That airdrops Google Doc was back in the day when when I was thinking that. Oh my God, we're going to get thousands of airdrops here. Genesis holders are going to be, just swimming in airdrops. How the hell are we going to keep track of all this shit? and it was that way for a while. I mean, I don't remember if you recall, but we had like 50 or 60 airdrops on that spreadsheet that we were looking at, and side chains that we had to claim, and airdrops that we had to claim, and all these other coins. And I was trying to, keep track of it. So I said, hey, let's do this as a community. And about that time, it kind of started tailing off. But yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. Good stuff, man. Good memory.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest problems in the space, really. One of these recurring problems. Like, I think EOS Nation did a really good job coming up with that NFT like finder on their site, so that people can keep track of like what NFTs on Wax are coming out. The other one that always worries me is like God forbid something happen, knock on wood. If I have to pass my keys to a loved one because I'm not around anymore. Like it's going to be great for them to get my keys, but like, how are they ever going to track down all the projects I've staked to, right? Like all of these DeFi finance projects. So I think things like this really need to improve in the space. But before we get started, I'd like your introduction of yourself because, it's always good to have people introduce themselves and
Well, you kind of mentioned how I first got into here. I started writing some articles for Krios back in the day, back for the Korean block producer, and doing some other things at the time, and eventually just started getting more and more involved in the space. Created CPU Emergency to help people out at the very beginning when we were having CPU crunches right at the mainnet launch. Thankfully, that's no longer necessary. We have the power up model here coming soon as well. It's a lot of innovation over the years. I've most recently, I've shifted around, jumped around from project to project. Most recently, hung my hat with CryptoWriter. Kenny and Sean on voice, and we're kind of partnering with voice a little bit to help them figure out how to build communities and what communities need to be on voice. So that's been taking a little bit of time, but it's been a lot of fun too. And still real active. We've got the Bullish Telegram out there now for people that are still really want to have a safe space. It's kind of fun, like you said, that I try to stay a little bit more professional out in the public, where I try to apply some pressure on B1 and others in a manner that's not attacking and not too much of a shill. But it's kind of fun to have the bullish space where you can just BS and throw around crazy numbers and just have fun without having to be worried about being attacked by some of the negativity that's in the space these days. And then finally, I'll tell you real quick before we'll get into it. We're talking about NFTs. Are you talking about wax NFTs? We're going to have a EOS meme contest here pretty soon with some decent EOS prize pools and some potentially NFTs associated with that. So be looking for that in the next few weeks. You guys and some of your listeners might be interested in throwing out some dank memes for the competition. Win some money, win some NFTs.
Do you guys have an account for right? Because like not having memes as NFTs is an error. You should do it. Are you guys going to do it on mainnet, or are you going to do it on Wax where it works?
It's going to be done on mainnet.
I was totally kidding.
Hey, come on! You're kicked out of the Bullish Telegram already.
Starting shit right out the bat.
There is an EOS meme Telegram channel that's just been started. Rec Kid started that up here this week. He's managing the competition. We are going to try to do it on EOS, since this is an EOS meme contest, not the EOSIO meme contest. So take that with a grain of salt, guys. We love Wax. Wax is awesome. No,
I was going to suggest that I couldn't not troll right there. My apologies. No, it's going to be good because I love. I started Shipple memes a while ago. So I launched Shipple on mainnet, and it's still ridiculous and means nothing, which was the point. Which is fun, but we're doing like tons of memes. Like the amount of creativity just got completely and totally out of control. So
right,
I mean, making sure we're doing EOS memes or whatever. Like we've seen the power of that, right? And to me, all the FUD about EOS, like I've just been eating it up. And like if I could get my hands on some fiat, I'm just trading it for EOS and Wax, because like that amount of max fear. You look at the fundamentals behind it. Are large companies trying to apply themselves to do really, really amazing things on EOS mainnet? Yeah, right? Like that's a thing that's happening. It's not dead. And if it's not dead, then just a little bit of price support from, say, like an awesome meme competition could knock it out of this channel. And the second it gets out of the channel, FOMO kicks in, and everybody who's been talking shit for a whole year is going to be trying to fill their bags, and ours will already be full. And also of memes.
If XRP and Doge can do 4, 5, 10x a day, it's coming. We've got the backing for it. You mentioned Wax, so hey, we're also, as we're trying to push, CryptoWriter is trying to push people to voice, and we're going to be doing an NFT giveaway on Wax here in the coming months for people to just try to, all they have to do is join voice and join our community, and they'll be they'll get an automatic NFT if they meet those standards, and then there'll be some bigger competitions depending on other things too. So hey, NFTs are the future. We're on board. Wax does a great job of supporting the NFT community, so love it.
Yeah, this is the EOSIO weekly update, and as always, this is kind of how it all started. We've branched out into other things now, but every Thursday we put out a massive post, and we go through everything in EOSIO that's like below. The CryptoWriter, actually, they do a really good EOS weekly post every week, and I think they have a podcast on that as well. and actually next week on Thursday, I believe on Wednesday, I believe we're going to have Sean from EOSIO on
Cool.
on our show as well. So that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, below in the post, there was actually quite a few that we referenced from the EOSWriter voice. And I actually kind of wanted to go through a couple with you because I think that they're really good. Like the article that Kenny wrote on the basics of EOS, like what is it? Like that was a great read if you hadn't cut if you haven't read it or if you're new to the space. And then like it's weird because like in the last 24 hours, there's a lot of shit has happened on the main chain. Like a lot of really good like articles have come out. A lot of like really interesting things have come out. Yeah, like I don't know if you've read it. Did you read the article by Philip Hamnet? That was brilliant, and I thought that was really good. Like I think it kind of like put the fudsters in their place, right? Like. And what I liked about it the most, I'm going to ask you what you liked about it the most.
Sure.
What I liked about it the most was the fact that like it actually spoke to like kind of what I've been saying, and I'm critical of Block One a lot on the show and EOS as well. But it spoke to what I've been saying is like they did the right thing in the real world business sense by investing in Bitcoin. And in the article, what they basically reference is they say that all of these other projects in the crypto space are basically having to pump their own tokens to get revenue. And Block One doesn't need to do that to be able to maintain the source code. They're sitting on 230 to 240 potentially BTC.
Right.
At today's prices. I mean,
almost $10 billion.
And yeah, $10 billion, and that's probably going to rise. And like I get the EOS maximalists that like say screw EOSIO, we want our money, we want our funding, but everybody in crypto kind of whines about it. But if you look at it logically, this is probably one of the companies in terms of software development that is set up for the longest period of time in all of crypto. That was my takeaway. There were a lot of other really cool things about it. So you mentioned bullish on EOS, and you had a really nice tweet thread, which we also put in the post below. I think it was a 6-part kind of series. And there's people who are bullish on EOS, and there's people who are saying like, I'm not. Why would I be bullish on EOS? Like screw Block One. All right, well, I don't usually engage with these people, but I want to hear it, straight from you. What are the top reasons do you think that people should be bullish on EOS and EOS mainnet in particular? Like, I would agree with most of them, but if you could just go over, like,
sure, yeah, I pulled up Philip's tweet here, and I agree with the majority of it. Block One is, and someone asked me this in the Bullish Telegram channel the other day. Why do we even want? Let's do it without Block One. Let's try to go forward, and that's great. Let's do what we can. EOS is not Block One. Block One is not EOS. They've made that very clear. Everybody's made that very clear. But going back to your point, they are the most financially secure crypto company just about in the world, and blockchain company, and they're building on EOS, and they've said they have support for EOS, and they know. While they keep many things close to vest and they don't divulge it because they are a private company and they're working with regulators, we know that their plans include a public chain. They can't do everything private. They can do some things private. They can have voice on private chains. At some point, though, people are going to want to move NFTs, move voice tokens, move other things off of the voice platform, right? And that's gonna hopefully be to EOS, and then other EOSIO chains if that system exists. They still own, even though it's a very small part of their treasury, 100 million EOS. Right,
I love it. It's a rounding error in their book, but it's still pretty good.
It's still 2 to 3% of their treasury, right?
Oh man.
But you got to think then. You got to think. Okay, we know that Brendan's tweeted nonstop for a very long time about how EOS and EOSIO can enhance Bitcoin. We know who the largest holder of Bitcoin is. With the power up model, a lot of people haven't really thought about what that does, not not for block one, not for dApps. They we've thought about, okay, hey, it makes user experience easier. It makes wallets be able to perform better for users and pay for transactions. But nobody's really thought, hey, that means block one can no longer stake their own CPU. They have to buy CPU. They have to use their EOS if they want to do anything on the mainnet now, right? So they are essentially in it. Then if they don't end up staking their EOS, let's say they wrap their EOS into other smart contracts on exchange, or help be liquidity providers, or do whatever else with their EOS, that means they're buying or giving the EOS stakeholders dividends, essentially, right? They're essentially paying for transactions just like anybody else would, and hopefully that's a lot of transactions. There's a lot of things that are moving here that are very good for the network, and I think that if we meet back here in a year, and it won't be $3 EOS, and we won't be having the same conversation, it'll be a much better situation.
Yeah, sorry, Jimmy, for cutting in. I know you have something there, but I am looking forward to, because it's not my first rodeo, right? And I have been around crypto for like a long time, but enough to know that like the second that the price changes, the whole conversation's going to change, and FUD will like basically disappear. And this is the thing: if you're doing investing or trading, like I look for max fear. I love it. I eat that shit for breakfast. So does Warren Buffett. Like there's a reason why this exists, right? Anyway, I think you're totally right. I think EOS is going to be $20 at minimum in a year, and then then shit might get crazy. Because again, to your point, Doge. I mean, long live Doge. Doge wants the moon. Good, right? Because that's the community. I love it. But if XRP can moon for no fucking reason at all, like just none at all, then yeah, I mean, EOS is going to have its turn. When? Who knows, right? But it's going to happen. Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, all of those things, and what I like about it too, what I thought, like, I never thought about in that article, was the fact that, like, with the new power up model, which I think the multi-sigs just went live today, by the way. So with the new power up model, EOS is block one's essentially going to stake all of their EOS, which means that they're going to get paid to stake all of their EOS, which means that, like, they don't have to, but which means that if they get paid to stake their EOS, they're actually getting more money if people use the EOS mainnet, which is kind of like another bullish.
Well, let's step back a second real quick. They can't move about 70% of their EOS. They can't right now. They are locked up. They get unlocked every second, every block. They have a little so there's about 70 million EOS, give or take, that they can't put into the new power up model, right? They can't go collect rewards with that because that's locked. It was how the system was created when we, the EOS community, gave them their 100 million tokens. It slowly unlocks over a 10-year period. That 70 million, they can't do anything except vote with right now.
Okay, I didn't realize that, because we had Eve LaRose on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about like that, and I got the impression that like
they could stake it to other locations. Maybe so. Maybe I have to go back and look.
It would automatically be staked to, but we were talking about user tokens, so I could be totally wrong on block one.
We'll have to go back and check. I may be wrong there as well. But the question is, will they do that, or do they want the community to be rewarded? That'll be an interesting take to see what they do. Do they want to go out and earn EOS by staking all this and take away from the other holders within the network? And do they want to earn this revenue, or do they want to give back to the EOS holders and not stake to the power up model and let everybody else share the transaction fees? We'll see. We'll see what they do. You're right. They could earn money, or they could let the rest of us earn a little bit more money and raise those rewards.
So the most bullish sort of piece of news that I've seen, having as much Bitcoin as they do, which is bonkers, and more power to them, right? They've clearly been accumulating, and they're not crazy. And even, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but like, why are they buying EOS? Why aren't they price supporting that? Whatever, right? Everyone should know by now, the first thing to moon and the largest thing to moon is going to be Bitcoin in any crypto season, right? It's crypto summer. Bitcoin's going to be the first mover. Like, if you guess against that, I'd really be curious as to what your suggestion would be, because I've never seen it and nobody else has either, right? So knowing that, they basically are, well, screw it, let's go heavy into Bitcoin where all the capital is going to flow first, and then, I mean, realizing that resource crunches are going to be a thing on Bitcoin, right? It's going to slow down. It's going to grind to a halt. It's not going to be as fucking terrible as Ethereum. $106 gas fee this morning with the I tried to do the first wax claim on the DeFi, and it's like, and it's good rewards on the DeFi thing. You get a little percentage of all the NFT trades and whatever. It's good stuff. There's no way $100 for a transaction is garbage, right? But they're talking about doing wrapped Bitcoin on the EOS network to basically provide a secondary scaling layer, and that's huge. So, and I don't know enough about it to know this, but like when you wrap that, are you locking EOS tokens in that, or is it just like a token that sits on the mainnet?
You're wrapping Bitcoin in some way. So let me just give you another example.
Right. I just like what's the interplay between the EOS token and wrapped Bitcoin? I guess is my question.
So if you got 10 billion Bitcoin and you want to put those to work, how do you do that? How do you make and generate revenue with $10 billion of Bitcoin? And let's think about this. You now know people. Well, wow, you had a relationship with MicroStrategy. You bought a $30 million website from MicroStrategy, and all of a sudden, Michael Saylor's out there shilling Bitcoin, and all of a sudden they've accumulated what, 100,000? How much Bitcoin have they accumulated? I have to go back and look.
It's well over $1 billion for the Bitcoin now.
Then you're doing all these partnerships with these financial institutions. We don't know who, but that's what they said they've been working on. If you go back and look at Brendan's tweets for financial institutions and or banks and things of that nature, it's pretty interesting. But so what do? You create your own profile.
Yeah.
Right. You create your own establishment. You control how the Bitcoin is wrapped. You own the staking pool. You own the mechanism. You own the contract, and you have people that you trust that are well-known, established entities that have the keys. And then you create a profile scenario around that programmable finance, and you get MicroStrategy, and you get Novogratz, and you get all these other very powerful people that have a lot of Bitcoin and other currencies that may not be doing anything, and you create an EOSIO contract, and they trust you, they know you, you know what the hell you're doing because you're block one, and you're putting the biggest stake in there, and then you wrap it and you create all these programmable finance mechanisms to reward people that utilize it. Can't say what those are. I don't know exactly, but you can go out and look at DeFi and consider what's parts
possible
of DeFi might be usable in a regulatory compliant manner.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this is all on EOSIO with some connections going back and forth with EOS at some point. And you have to imagine that this is, going to be some sort of centralized mechanism with off ramps, right? You can't. It's got to talk to public networks. You got to be able to submit your BTC. If you want to do something else with your wrapped BTC, you have to be able to get it off into public networks. So there's going to be connections.
Yeah. So you think this would actually be on a private proprietary?
Yeah, I think basically from what we've seen in the past, it's going to be similar to like what they do on Voice. That most of this stuff is going to be done behind the scenes, and then you're going to have hashes back to public chains, or you're going to have token interplays with other chains.
Okay.
It's going to be
for the end user. Does it? Like the end user, because I think a lot of people get concerned about the lack of decentralization stuff. I don't frankly think if you go on
Corey, you're cutting up a lot. You're breaking up a lot.
Yeah, Corey, you're breaking up. So I'm gonna try to answer. I heard decentralization and centralized. It's a DApp, right? It's an application. It's centralized in that aspect. There will be some trust involved, except it's a public, well-known, trusted entity. And I think because they're going pro-fi, you're going to have some fiduciary protections that you don't have with dApps today. So you're right. It's going to be incumbent upon the user to decide if they want to utilize these services. And I don't know that they'll have insurance. I don't know what level protection there'll be. I don't know what it'll be, but I have some more level of regulatory securities than you do with a DeFi staking app and going out and sushi and buying a sushi token and trying to earn revenue from that. And then the founder sells all his tokens, and then there's a big dip in the so there's no certainty there, but you'll have some. It'll be you deciding, do I want to try it? Do I not want to try it?
Well, and the fact, and sorry for my connection was crappy, and that's actually kind of where I was going, right? Like, centralization doesn't scare me as long as there are decentralized options, right? If they're creating a regulatory, a compliant, DeFi platform that has all the same flavors and functionalities and sort of democratic access, meaning like anybody can access it as the rest of these projects do. And it's on a centralized or private chain or whatever it is, but then there's an automatic off ramp to EOS, which means that as IBC inter-blockchain communication, as that stuff starts to get better and better and better, your wrap Bitcoin can go from there. It could go to Wax, it could go to EOS mainnet and go wherever it wants. So the end user's experience is the same as this decentralized universe, but we're now mapped into a financial world that, again, like, regulatory stuff is annoying. I get it. Most people don't understand half of it anyway, especially everybody who decided to get really angry at Robinhood, right? Like, there's a lot of things that are going on, and their system itself, never mind what people didn't understand about Robinhood. That whole situation is way more fucked up than people understand, and has been the whole time. But we have to figure out how to tap into and mesh into those systems, those legacy systems. And basically, it'll pull them out, right? I mean, like, you can call a landline with a cell phone. Cell phones are still cooler. Landlines are going away, and that's sort of how I see all this stuff playing out.
Yeah, so you're right to a certain extent. I don't think regulatory compliance is going away. We'll see what happens in the next 5 years. It is somewhat protected. You're insulated from the standpoint that DeFi it's hard to shut off. That it's hard to find centralized points of pressure, but they exist, and they're, in a lot of cases, they're identified. It's not quite like Bitcoin, where Satoshi left the keys and ran away and disappeared, and there's no one identified that you can really central point of attack for governments to easily stop it from happening. So you may see in the next 3, 4, 5 years that DeFi gets swatted in the hand by different regulatory agencies. Hopefully, with Block One's very savvy, and I know we hate them, legal team, because they won't allow Brendan or Kevin or anybody else to say shit, that they're savvy and they're going to do some pretty good things in the next few years. So, yeah. I mean, so it's a trade-off, right? We're going to have slow growth versus immediate growth.
Right. Well, I mean, like, slow growth in crypto means that you only 10x in a year. Oh no! Oh crap! Right? Like, just people's expectations are so ridiculous, which is fun, but still, yeah. I mean, didn't they get fined like 25 million from the SEC in their settlement? Like 25 million. Yeah. Okay, 23. Right. That was like 0.023 of their take on their ICO. Like, that's not even a slap on a wrist. That's like a breeze that you don't feel on the way by. But at the same time, they probably had to cut a deal that forced them into a regulatory box. To your point about the lawyers, like, I think that does explain their communication strategy. It would to me, right? Like, you have to be careful. You have to sort of color well within the lines of what whatever their deal was with the SEC as far as what they can do, what they can't do, yada yada, right? Because they had to basically act like this isn't it's not an IPO, right? It's not a security, which means they can't act like it. And everybody wants them to communicate like it's a security, and they literally can't ever be seen to be doing that, right? It has to be this, EOS, the token, has to be this thing that now lives independently of them. Otherwise, they could be charged, 10 billion. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, I don't really agree with that, though, because I keep saying this. Here's my take on that. I think everyone that is the majority of people who are like whining and complaining about it want somebody else to make them money because they bought something that they thought that was going to go up. You get over it. You bought something that's not going up right now. If you want something to go up, sell your EOS and go buy something else, and then watch EOS Moon and then complain that thing's not going up because you just said the same thing I did, just much more colorfully.
Hey, we all want the moon. We all want to be savvy, smart investors and see our portfolios grow and take profits. It's been hard watching the downtrend over the last few years, and it was even harder with the shift after B1 June of Block One going into kind of a silent mode for a while. And that was tough. That was the hardest part. I can deal with the price change. It was really for me the part that hurt, if you will, was the change in attitude from Block One, from sharing and being open and honest to guarded and secretive, if you will, and standoffish. So, like you said, lawyers account for that. Still, it doesn't make people happier with that understanding.
Well, and even that aside, I mean, I think what Block One has been doing, and you forgot again, didn't you?
I did.
I think what Block One has been doing, like on the back end, and what they're looking at for like enterprise adoption is all good. I think from a PR perspective, they need to do a lot better. I mean, like, even if you can't say something, you should inform the community as to why. Number one. Number two, I mean, if your kind of lead developer leaves, it should probably be announced in an official capacity, not on Hive, where everyone thinks it's like kind of a scam at first, and then like the best kind of scenario is like, oh, maybe the reason it was released on Hive was like to kind of say, oh, look, I'm still in Hive. I'm not leaving every project that I've created. Like, that's my only assumption as to why you released that announcement on Hive. And like, I really hope to have Dan on this show one day. I want to talk about that as well, because like you co-interviewed him as well at one point on Everything EOS, right? And I think he's I've read some of his political stuff, like as a philosopher, as a historian. I think it's like brilliant. His ideas are brilliant, and I don't think it's a bad thing that he left Block One if he's going to pursue his own thing, and he's free to say his own things and design his own things, and Block One is able to do those things. And like, my biggest pet peeve, with kind of the community that surrounds the whole scenario and the whole situation is, I suspect, and I read this, I stole it from somewhere, I can't remember where it is, or I credit it, but I would suspect, like, nobody FUDs a coin that's dead. Like, nobody FUDs a coin that's going nowhere, right? Like, and I suspect that like there were a lot of big EOS holders that like are probably holding EOS down to a certain extent for various reasons. All speculation. I have no idea. But I think like there's some serious kind of like manipulation and price manipulation for the at least 2 years are needed for anyone to come anywhere close to the technological capabilities to what EOS has potentially, right? Like, and I mean, Polkadot is being hailed as like, the most amazing thing, since sliced bread, for basically doing all of the same things that EOS can already do, right? Like,
right. So, if only we'd positioned ourselves more as the ETH saver versus the ETH killer, it might be a different.
Well, and the problem with that, like, we didn't even like Block One didn't even say there was going to be an ETH killer, right? It's kind of like, again, another religious reference, but if you, whatever you believe on a religious basis, no problem. Like, believe whatever you want to believe, but like, if you actually sit down and read the Bible, I'm not religious actually, but if you actually sit down and read the Bible, Jesus never says once, "I am the Son of God." He says, "I'm the Son of Man," and I kind of feel like we've had this complex in EOS as well, whereby like other people have said, "Oh, it's the ETH killer, it's the ETH killer, it's the ETH killer," and even Brendan and Dan themselves have been actively talking to people like Vitalik about like how to integrate the two systems together, right? So
why couldn't they buy up a bunch of ETH and just do wrapped ETH and the same way it looks like they're going to do with Bitcoin? Just create a secondary layer on.
I think they do. I think they do have a bunch of ETH, but they're not really open about it.
All right.
They talked about participating in both governance models a while back, both the Bitcoin and the Ethereum governance models. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you're right. Here we are. I'm looking here at the CoinMarketCap today, and we've got Polkadot at number 5. It's a secondary layer scaling solution. It's just amazing. We got Uni, a simple liquidity pool. Not simple, it's huge, but on ETH, it's 14, and here's EOS at 18 down here at a less than $3 billion market cap. It's kind of strange. We'll see what happens.
That's really all we can do, right? But like,
I can only buy so much, guys.
I know, right? Exactly. We just need to have EOS buying parties. Well, and this kind of goes back to the meme competition or whatever. I mean, it works, right? Like if you get enough people, enough creative people, it really does, right? Like you go after the most bullish cases or whatever, let everybody's creativity just rock and roll, which is intense, right? There's a lot of really amazing creativity. Also, what the crap is this? I've never seen this before.
You got a village.
Huh.
The one other thing that happened today, I don't know if you guys caught it, Greymass announced free EOS accounts today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Their wallet. So you can go out and get a free account while they last. And then after that, it's going to be, I think, $2 a pop once their free ones run out.
And the nice thing about that as well is with like it's on, I guess Android's coming soon, but it's on
iOS.
EOSIO. Sorry, it's on iOS.
It is on EOSIO.
EOSIO. We hope.
But the nice thing about that as well is with their fuel, you can actually use it without like sparingly, of course, every day, but you can actually use it without having like resources staked. So, I mean, the combination of what all of these other teams are bringing, and I think that's what frustrates me is like, you can FUD EOS or EOS, you can FUD EOS or Block One. Like most people who FUD it don't understand, in my opinion, the difference between a chain like Wax or a chain like Ultra or a chain like Telos, and they don't even understand that these chains aren't part of EOS, which is kind of a problem. But the big thing for me is that they don't really pay attention to all of the hard work that so many of these block producer teams are doing in the background. Like Block One is doing some great things with the code. That's true. But if you look at all of the innovation, there was a statistic about like how much, it was some weird random statistic about how much development is happening on Ethereum compared to other chains. And I mean, EOS got a really like low rating. It was like, less than 5% or something like that. But if you factor in the fact that Block One is actually developing EOSIO actively, and then you factor in all of these other people from all of these other chains are actually taking that code and then adapting it to their own tailored purposes. Wax for NFTs, Ultra for gaming, Telos for I'm not really sure, but they're doing some like cross bridge work and governance and stuff like that. Like the combined all of that, like it's like that meme where you line people up. There's a teacher that has all of those people, all of those animals lined up and says like, oh, well, today's test is like climbing a tree. I mean, the goldfish in a bowl has no chance, right? And essentially that's what EOS has become, because it's this vast network that's all essentially based around the same technology, but you have all of these people doing all of these amazing different things. And when it all gets built out, and it all like becomes seamlessly like collided, it's just going to be this massive, it's not even going to be a spaceship to another planet. It's going to be like a time warp portal that you can just step into and you're there. That's kind of my bullish on EOS sentiment. As critical as I am of all of, everything in the space, that's kind of how I feel, honestly.
You mentioned, I'll go back. You mentioned a lot there, but I'll go back to the block producers. I don't know if you caught it yesterday or the day before. B1 did switch their proxy around and rewarded different block producers that have been supportive of the power up model. So they are aware of which block producers are providing value, and they're trying to make sure that those block producers do receive pay and do get rewarded for their time and effort. So there are people that are watching what the block producers do. There are people that are at B1 that are aware. I mean, Kevin Rose and the PBE, and I think there was a recent hire, Brendan Espinoza, and a few other people from the EOS community have joined the PBE. That you'll see more involvement, more engagement, and they're trying to reward block producers for that. So you do have things that are happening. But you're right, EOSIO, man, there's a lot of good things happening. If we can just dig our heels in and make sure that we're around when it does happen.
So, Chaney.
Yo.
What's one thing you're very grateful for that can fit on one of these Minecraft signs?
Let me think about that. It's just one. Shit.
You could do. I just did 2. You could absolutely. I'll timestamp this one with our show this morning. Actually, we'll start there. Fuck it. Let's just do that. So you got lots of room.
Yeah. Let me think about. I'll give you a couple here in a minute, but let me think about what I'm thankful about today.
You think, I'll give you one. I'm thankful, or I'm grateful for Chaney's frigid yet beautiful view of EOSIO.
Can you fit that in there? I try to apply pressure gently and professionally on B1 when I think things are bad. So I give Brendan and I give Block 1 a hard time, but I try to do it in a manner that's somewhat respectful publicly. So I appreciate that feedback. I do.
No, I'm not poking fun. I'm 100%.
No, I know. I realize that. That's why I say thank you. I appreciate that. That's
Jimmy, what was that?
Chaney's frigid yet beautiful. Take on EOSIO.
Oh, I thought we were just going to leave it there. Frigid yet beautiful.
We might have to.
Well, I wasn't actually sure where you were from. We're both cold weather Canadians that have kind of migrated to semi-warm places because we can't deal with it. But that there's an affinity there for beautiful, cold, especially when you have a computer screen dividing you. In my personal opinion, anyway.
I'm born and raised and still living in Texas, so I unfortunately cannot abide by the cold weather. It seeps into my bones.
Yeah. It would have been my guess. I didn't want to ask you. For EOSIO Weekly Update, I like to pull random photos of places that people are, and I actually did research beautiful landscapes in Texas. And I'm like, man, I got to get there. There's some beautiful places down there.
It's not quite as big as Canada, but there are some pretty places out here. I grew up honestly in the country, in the middle of nowhere. Not to date myself, but I was so far in the country that I had to go to my grandmother's house on weekends just so I could watch Saturday morning cartoons. So we had one channel out in the country. So I'm from the middle of nowhere. I am grateful for CryptoWriter and voice, because that's what I spend a lot of my time on these days. That's where a lot of my focus is. So I'll put that out there. The ability to work with some really good people and build something is that's fun. The building is fun, right? And then, hopefully eventually stepping back and watching it go on its own. I sound kind of like Dan there. I don't want to step back. I don't want to let it go on its own, but just that ability.
Me too. Awesome. I've been meaning to write for you guys for a while. I've had an invitation to write for you guys, but my country is not supported. I can't get in still to this day.
Yeah, so, there's still some. Where are you these days?
I'm in Japan, so they haven't opened up Japan, and I don't think they've opened up Germany yet either.
Really? I'll have to hassle them about that next time. Yeah, there's. I'm surprised. Most European Union countries I thought were already onboarded, but there may be some specific country-specific rules that prohibit it.
Well, this is dated, so it's about 3 or 4 months old.
Try again. See if you can use the CryptoWriter. I will shill that. If you have not joined Voice yet, guys, you can go to voice.com/join/CryptoWriter, and you can bypass the whole wait list. It's still kind of an open closed beta. They close the joining list for a while so that it can stack up for weeks and weeks. And then they open it back up when they're ready for more people to come on and test things. But you can bypass that by voice.com/join/CryptoWriter. So, and you can go ahead and get in hopefully within 48 hours. It still takes a little bit of time to onboard people, and then join our community. We're still the largest community on Voice right now, with almost 1,400 people following us. We are a private community. Only our approved writers can write to our community. But we're looking at changing the way those things work and having a more open community and maybe a closed community where just certain writers can put the highest quality content out there. So please come join us. We have some great NFT stuff. We're talking about doing an NFT writer and some other things maybe. We'd love to have it.
And again, in the post below, most of the voice, the top thing in our EOSI weekly post is always articles from around the space, various Cointelegraph or other articles. And I would say the majority of the voice ones usually come from the CryptoWriter community. So.
Yeah. We made a conscientious effort when we went to voice. I mean, we had EOSWriter, we had a general CryptoWriter. We did make a conscientious effort to broaden our horizons, and we've actually onboarded over 50 people now. And it's not just EOS centric. We have half a dozen EOS writers and more, really, because that's where we started from, probably a dozen plus. But then we've grabbed some of the best and brightest from Ethereum, from Bitcoin, from other platforms, and we have some really quality information out there. It's honestly, it's been good for me. It's forced me to get out of my little comfort zone, and I read and interact with the writers out there, and it's. Be honest, it's made me some money, because I've looked into different things that I was kind of a little bit more closed-minded to in the past. I thought, man, that sounds cool. Maybe I'll throw $100, $500, $1,000 at this and see what happens. Or it's just a real interesting space. So it's good. Wax is great. EOSIO is great. EOS is great. But make sure you're open-minded to things.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where Corey and I came from in the last couple of weeks as well, when we kind of looked at like some of the topic shows that we had with like media moguls or NFTs and games. Like, I mean, I don't have any serious problems with like Ethereum, for example. I mean, obviously, I don't have if you got problems with Bitcoin, you're crazy.
Well, I mean, like I don't think that either that's true. Like Ethereum is utterly unusable for normal people. And the reason why the price is going up in a totally inflationary coin is because transaction costs are fucking jacked, right? So like there's a lot of problems with Ethereum. And again, I had another conversation with one of the smartest guys I've ever met. Oh, I was there when they totally changed the world with this new scientific breakthrough around Ethereum scaling. Cool. I've heard that story 50,000 times over the last 5 years. And he might be right. Like it might happen, but it's not the way it is now, right? So Ethereum is garbage. And not saying they can't fix it, because they can, right? They totally can. But Bitcoin isn't that much better, right? Like for a bunch of people that are really, really excited about getting rid of legacy systems, we've just jumped on the next legacy system bandwagon. Rant over. Sorry.
Yeah,
I own Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, but like I think like just automatically presuming that nobody should criticize Bitcoin is ludicrous, because it's the DOS of this ecosystem.
I really want to rebuttal that, but I'm gonna pass it to Chaney because I kind of want to hear what he says. This never happens, by the way. Corey knows this. I never let other people talk.
that is a confirmed fact. Somebody write the date down.
I will agree with that to a certain extent, that it's virtually unusable for many aspects of what people want to do today. And the reason you do see a lot of this price inflation is because of continued FOMO but the ability that you mentioned you wanted. So not to ask you, but how you had wax rewards out there today on Ethereum, right? And you wanted to get that. It was going to cost you $100. Did you pay that $100 today?
No, hell no.
All right. So there was a situation there where, you could not necessarily transact and sell or deflate certain tokens. And there's a lot of people out there that will not move tokens because, or sell ETH or make transactions or do things because the costs are so high. So you have this essential staking, not because they want to be there, but because they're forced to be there because they don't want to pay 10, 20, 30, 50% of what they have stand to gain to the mining pools, to the ETH, and so you do have some sort of enforced hodling by high transaction fees and high prices to a certain extent.
And I tweeted it. Jimmy, sorry, I'm totally like paying you back. I still owe you about 600. So, but I definitely remember what you're talking about. I tweeted literally what you just said, Chaney, this morning, and it reminds me anyway about we talk about the velocity of money in sort of macroeconomics and economics or whatever. Well, and not we, like smarter people than me, and I read them just so we're on the same page. I'm not that smart. But it is an enforced kind of hodling kind of situation, but it's also a situation where whales get to make money and average people don't, right? And that drives me up the wall. But I think like it's clearly a feature, not a bug, because now I was going to leave it in there anyway. Like I'm not, I have no plans to move it. But the fact that I can't, and that whales can buy and sell all of the dips, I'm kind of on the fence with, or kind of two minds about it. Cause like I could see the positive side of that, right? Because like what's really going to happen? I'm going to wait until Ethereum is 20,000, where that $100 transaction fee doesn't mean anything to me anymore, and then I get to sell it and everything's good, right? So like that as the smallish user, like I still benefit, right? It just means that it's going to take me a little bit longer. So like that would be the positive side. The negative side is that while all of the Uniswap stuff is going on, while all the DeFi stuff is going on, small players will get utterly wrecked because whales can sell the tops.
I will say that EOS is my main holding. Ethereum is not a too distant second, to be honest with you, and that's simply because of the price impact over the last year. To be honest, at this point,
it's the price is going to go up for sure.
But I use EOS daily. I use EOSIO daily, and it's easy and convenient. I use dApps. I use DeFi. I'm getting already lining up, what I think for my sports bets for the Super Bowl and some other things. There's a lot of good dApps out there that I can use and do use. I only use these days Ethereum for shitcoin trading, and for the occasional DeFi project when I can afford to utilize it, when I think it's worthwhile to utilize it, to stake when I get amassed a certain level I want to stake or claim rewards. And it's not efficient or a good user experience, period. I mean, Uniswap, is a pain. There are different, trying to teach somebody how to find the right contract address, try to deposit tokens or then swap the tokens. There's nothing on Ethereum that's really geared towards the end user that's easy to use and cheap to use. It's just the case. That said, like I said, it's my second biggest holding. I've enjoyed my gains.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like the biggest bull case for Ethereum that I've seen is 20K. And I mean, it's not crazy for a lot of the same reasons, right? I mean, so if as an investor, I mean, me holding the Wax DeFi thing, you hold equal amounts of Wax and Ethereum on the bridge or whatever, right? I'm super stoked about that. Like I don't need to move it, but I also can't even get my Wax governance tokens out because they're connected in the thing. Anyway, so that's just me pitching. Jimmy, my apologies. Please go.
It's all right. So I've stopped writing shitcoin trading. Instead, I've replaced the S with a money, like the dollar symbol.
Yeah, I totally agree. It makes you money.
So it says money hit coin trading because you're taking a money hit every time you got to trade on it.
That's only you, Jimmy. The rest of us are doing pretty good.
Yeah, no. I mean,
fees.
I mean with Ethereum, right? Because you do take a hit every time. But I think Ethereum is what I've heard is 50 to 75K.
What?
Yeah, and yeah, we're trying to get that guy on.
I want to get that guy on because that's not going to hurt my feelings. Can you imagine the market cap of Ethereum when that happens? It's like, what the hell?
But I think like I'm kind of bridging the gap between the two of you because I think that the innovation that's happening on Ethereum is great, but it's not usable for the simple reason that like I think it's the legacy banking system on the blockchain. That's kind of what it's become in my eyes. So if you look at blockchain in terms of like Dan's vision or a lot of these like big decentralized visions of grandeur, where people that are unbanked, people that are in Africa, people that are in Asia that only are operating on their cell phones want to be able to bank themselves, want to be able to use DeFi, want to be able to take out loans like what exists with like the Vigor protocol or Everpedia. Staking or EOS Nation's new DeFi vault, for example, to be able to capitalize by staking their EOS and get rewards when people are doing like flash loans and stuff like that. Ethereum's not usable in that sense. It's a big money player game, in my opinion. It's the legacy banking system 2.0 on the blockchain. And the worst part about it is that, like Corey said, the little guys are getting hurt because you have these players who have enough money who are moving tens of thousands of dollars that don't mind that $100, $200, $1,000 transaction cost, because they can look into the blockchain that takes 10, 20 minutes to settle, and they can front run all of the little guys and basically wreck them. And so, like, I do have issues with that. And I think this is where EOS, in my opinion, will shine. Because like you said, Chaney, it's a trusted blockchain. They're working towards like regulatory compliance. They're working towards, onboarding these real world businesses in a secure, cheap way that allow all users to be able to use those products. That's where I'm kind of sitting. I don't think Ethereum will die, but I think that, not only will EOS scale Ethereum, but it'll make this front running crap impossible.
That's my main thing. Like, I don't want whales to have basically a percentage perfect tool to take money from poor people, which is what Ethereum is right now.
Well, it's what most liquidity pools are these days too.
Right.
But you go back to even Bitcoin. Honestly, I don't own Bitcoin anymore. I own PBTC on EOS, so I can actually use it. So even my Bitcoin now is on EOS, and I do. I mentioned getting wrecked in liquidity pools. I do have that staked to a EOS BTC LP to earn about 70% a year.
Wait,
and
what?
I don't care. I don't care whether it goes up or goes down, because I like having Bitcoin and I like having EOS. I really don't care too much about how it shifts over time. It's DeFi's network. I think right now, if you go out there and check it out, the APR on the return is about 65 to 70%.
I mean, so that's pretty good. So I wanted to show you one more thing from inside the Uplift. By the way, we would love to get CryptoWriter a community cluster of land that they can keep and a bunch to give away as well. We just had wax sign up this morning. That's why I had that wax thing. But so I went out to, on the map, you can actually go on the 2D map if you find the link to it. And if you go to minus 21,000 and 21,000 as the coordinates, you could find this, which is still under construction. But I want to set it up so that when you visit this, if you visit it once a day, and it's quite the trip to get out here, there's going to be a rail line. It's going to take some time to get out there. Obviously, the rail line is going to be owned by all the NFT land key owners. So you just passing over their railway plot is actually going to make them a little bit of wax. It's maybe part of the reason why I'm building this way out in the boonies. But I want to set it up so that you get one single sat of wrapped Bitcoin every time you visit once a day. Because on EOS, we could do it, right? Like, that's a thing that we could totally do.
Free transactions if you use a third party to do it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think I would probably create like a DApp or whatever we need to do to make that happen. But yeah, I just love the idea. Like, I'm going to make a temple to Bitcoin, but where when you receive rewards for bowing down in front of the temple or whatever it is, you get one sat. Cause I want to start having people think in sats instead of full Bitcoins or whatever, and it's going to be wrapped where you can actually use it. Anyway, so
you need to have a button that says stack sats,
right? That's a really good idea. Like, just you climb all the way to the top, and there's just a single button right on the top that just says stack sats. Yes.
So we, I think if you don't know what's going on with this world, because I know you're quite busy, basically it's going to be a place where communities can come and have their own places, and there's going to be, you're going to be able to build stuff. You're going to be able to, optimize land through NFTs, through DeFi, EOS, like play videos, have competitions, and it's looking like it's going to be really cool. So for anyone who doesn't know, who's watching the show, I think it's Wednesday. You and Greg are showing off the community. Friday. You and
Rick Courier
are showing off the communities that are already there. So
that's we basically we set up a chunk of land that's just for communities, and so they get they're going to get 55 NFTs, which are all going to be 55 little pieces of land all close together. And it's in a giant cluster, right? So we already got 17 or 18, different communities and projects and stuff that are already in there.
Can I join the world from Xbox?
You can't. It has to be Minecraft Java. That is a thing. Yep, that's a thing. Costs like $26. But yeah, so that's one of the things that's going on in there that we're super stoked about.
You remember? You may not. Back in the very early days, right after Pixel Master was a thing on EOS, there was a guy that tried to do a version of essentially Pixel Master in Minecraft, EOS Land or something. I forget what it was now. You had to pay for each block, and it was an interesting scenario. You guys have taken it multitudes past that. It's amazing.
Yeah, we want the experience. So we're not going to sell basically any actual thing in the game, right? We're the land key NFTs basically just give people control over their areas, which is really critical, right? Like you need to be able to build something like this. I need to make sure that nobody can come in and destroy it, which we're how to
lock it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can whitelist people to come and help do build competitions, things like that. So that's the main thing we're doing. And like land NFTs are doing really freaking well. So like we're going to be fine as a company. So then what it allows us to do, in our Minecraft server, there's going to be an entire economy of people needing stuff to build and whatever, like Mana to build all the stuff in Decentraland. Like you have to buy all the stuff from them. Instead of buying stuff from the company trying to jack the price of a token, because we're just going to use Wax, people are going to be able to mine stuff in the world, throw it into the economic engine that's actually in the world, and buy and sell stuff to each other, which we think is way, way, way more interesting. And we're going to take a percentage of those sales and throw it into the reward pot, which is going to start at 1 million Wax, which is really fun.
And a percentage will go back to the charity things that we're involved in as well, right?
Yep. Yeah. 10% of all the economic activity that we do as a company is going to go straight to Uplift Donate, which is our mission to build a school this year. And
awesome, guys. Great job.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I want to have you back. Like, I'm not kicking you out, but like I know you're a busy person, and so I don't want to you can.
I get the hint, guys. I get the hint. All right.
No. I really want to have you back on a semi-regular basis, and I really like that. I really want to have you back when Wax hits. When EOS hits $20, and
put it on
even
the
10. Like once it goes over $5 and everyone starts freaking out. Like I think like even at $5.50, $6, this is going to be a giant smug parade on this show, and we would love to have you back for that. That'd be really good.
But I mean, before that, I like to end out my questions for today. I want to give you the Texas Revolver shoot 'em up. And I want you to tell me, like, point blank, what's your favorite game in the space? What's your favorite DApp in the space? Who's your? I'm not gonna.
I mentioned and some things that I use regularly right now, and it's been there for a long time. For DApp wise, has been Sportbet 1. I've been collecting divs and making little sports bets here and there, and I'm looking forward to some of what I like about the Super Bowl is not necessarily watching the game. It's making crazy bets and keeping me, every quarter, this person's going to do 150 yards and whatnot. So that's kind of the excitement I have going on right now. But
I personally can't bet on the Super Bowl because I'm a Jets fan and I get wrecked every time.
So you got to be careful. But that's, as far as gaming, honestly, I was doing a lot of it. I started out with EOS Nights and a whole bunch of the games that I still have, and it died and went to Ethereum and Tron. I still played on there as well, but I don't play. I have Crypto Dynasty still that I play from time to time. It's still EOS, but they've also done Ethereum and other things too. But I don't really get to play that many crypto games that much anymore. I play some Genshin Impact on my phone and some other things too, but Among Us with the kids and things like that. Mobile games, but not much in the way of crypto games today. Too busy, man. too busy. I'd love to do, but it's too busy. As far as daily use stats, I kind of mentioned it, but you mentioned EOSX, stake some EOS there, collect my payments from EOS Nation, EOS Asia, and those guys. Pretty cool. Those flash loans are pretty cool.
Yeah, that SX Flash Loans Vault is amazing. I really like what they're doing a lot.
On a charity level, you guys are talking about charities, and it's not quite a charity, but it's a good initiative. Check out microloans. Those EOS microloans, they are helping set up very small. You're talking like 1 to 10, 20 EOS loans in third world countries to help people that are in need to do certain things. They have a Telegram channel.
I'm getting all thank you for telling me about this. This is awesome. I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
I am all about this shit. In fact, Jimmy, we should probably figure out which show to plug them. I mean, honestly, probably just EOSI Weekly. Like, I want to make sure we mention these guys once a week.
So check them out. There's some native English speakers, but for the most part, their English Telegram channel is very lightly attended because they're mostly dealing in third world countries, and they're supporting not only individuals but also businesses that are trying to use EOS. And it's an amazing fly under the radar project that doesn't have any direct funding. It's like 2 or 3 people, and they've got freaking shirts and caps and all these people and these that need these help. It's amazing how much they've done without anybody and really English speaking really knowing much about it. So check them out.
Yeah, that's awesome, because like that's very similar to what the original idea we had behind Uplift Nation, which is now kind of morphed into Uplift Art. So yeah, I'd love to be able to figure out a way for us as a
only
company.
thing I'll say as a person that doesn't have the time to do it, they're looking for people that will actually manage the loans and actually like, hey, I want to give you a loan. I want to give you a loan. And then, but they're working on a system to help have like a manager, have somebody like, hey, here's 100 EOS, find the most needy people to do that and go out and help me. And I want to know who this getting the money. But I want you to kind of manage the aspect of it. So
I might have an idea. Let me play with it. I might know somebody who can do it actually, like a company who's already doing it that like wants to do more. Like there might be in there.
They're great.
Awesome.
Mr. EOS Microloan, I think the main guy that's in charge of that. Check him out. I appreciate letting them be plugged in. I know you guys. I got to go too. Like I said, please join CryptoWriter. Check us out. Be looking for the EOS meme competition. Is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Join the Bullish Telegram channel if you want to talk just wild ass speculation about EOS and have fun.
I'm in. Actually, you know what? Well, I'm joining that shit right now. What is it?
Chaney, we also put out a post every weekend where we go over all of the shows and like the unexpected things that happen. So please feel free to send any links to me.
Sure.
You have my contact and we'll put those links below. And that way people can find them. But Bullish Telegram channel.
I think it's Bullish EOS is the name of the group. So check it out. Bullish EOS for
Extreme Prejudice. I'll throw a link in there for the fam too. Boink. Here we go, guys.
Like we're gonna try to have you back at any time, but you if you got something coming up with anything that you're involved in, feel free to reach out and let us know. We're going to have, like we said, Sean on next week for Wednesday for Media Moguls, and we're going to do a EOSWriter kind of exclusive, hard-hitting, all about EOSWriter kind of episode. So anyone who's interested in that should definitely tune in and learn more from him on next Wednesday. But like if you have something that's coming up with any of your projects, feel free to reach out, and we're happy to have you back any time.
I appreciate that, guys. It was fun, and I want to come back. I like this sort of thing. I like talking to you and just bullshitting about EOS. It's always fun. And wax and EOSIO and everything else, NFTs. It's all cool.
Right, it's super fun. Yeah, thanks, man. It's really good to meet you too. I gotta stick around because I promised to give away 3 of these Ken Bozak NFTs that I got. So feel free to dip out if you want. Or obviously, if you want to hang out, you can totally do that too. Yeah. All right. Cheers. Jimmy, help me pick who's gonna win these fucking things, please.
So we
Who shared to the best places? I really love this, guys. When you tell me all the different places you shared to and had your wax address, like if there's a list and I see that, I'm absolutely going to play favorites because that's just how it's going to roll.
We're gonna
like CryptoPhasia, for example, retweeted, shared with the lads Discord and Bullets Telegram.
Done.
That's number one. Boom. Who's next? Yes, and QW. Boom. All right, CryptoPhasia, you just got it. That's you.
I say Kasimoto, share to Twitter, Facebook, UHive, and Alien Army Group. Thank you. Yeah,
and Katsumoto is always freaking awesome anyway, so supporting the OGs doesn't hurt my feelings. Can you tell me what Katsumoto's address is, though, please?
No, because he didn't write. Yes, 5EQAW.WAM.
5EQAW.whamsalls. All right. Oh, and then the thing went away. Son of a bitch. I wonder how much. I don't even know how much these things are going for, but it's like some money. These are like some of the best NFTs we've given away.
Well, and if we miss you, don't feel bad because we're gonna come back tomorrow with some EOS Go NFT, so that's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yep. All right. Who's the last one? Sorry, I'm just this is some engaging shit.
Yeah,
we both get super quiet.
I really love Llama. He's awesome.
Llama? We can do Llama.
Yeah. Well, I don't have an Addy for him, but
it'll be in here somewhere.
Or you know what we could do? We could just fuck with Ken and send one back to him. That's kind of shit that he would do to us.
That is very, very true. Scrolling through here. One more to give away. Llama, if you get your address down there, we'll random draw. That takes too much time.
Yeah, why don't you do that? The next person put their address in gets it. Done.
All right. Yeah, okay. Next, return to sender. Yeah, next one that comments there. Next one that I see, I'm just going to copy it in. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, because if you're still here, you deserve one.
That's well said. I agree. Good point. Hear me rant about. There it is. Llama nailed it. Pretty soon, I'm just going to know half of your wax addresses by heart.
I should have put mine in there. I should have front ran Llama. That's what
right?
All right. Come back tomorrow, please, and support us with Upland. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have John Connor from Upland, I hope, come on, and we are going to talk about all things Upland. And we're also going to do something really cool. We're going to try out this new system we've been working on for, getting people to tweet in the show or after the show. And we're going to give away 3 EOS Go really cool Eve LaRose with the stick attacking demons NFTs that they created, which will entitle the holder of that NFT to get 3 more for the rest of the month. EOS Go's got kind of a really
I like that distribution model, actually. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we're going to give those away. We're going to tell you how you can get one of those on tomorrow's show. And then we're going to do a live draw, I think, on our weekly roundup on the weekend and give them away live. I'm going to try that out.
Hey, you want to see this again?
Yes.
Me too. It's weird. If you click it, it automatically jumps. That's fun.
I'm not the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the bubble.
This worked out way better than I thought it was going to.
I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble.
the video actually slowed down. All right. That's a good lesson because the StreamYard just started doing this. So the video wasn't keeping up with the audio, which is real sad. But we can fix that. I can fix that. Not that I'm going to play it again. I mean, I am, but what can you do?
See y'all tomorrow.
You can leave if you want.
You're gonna play it again?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna play it again. It didn't even work.
Okay, go play it.
Is that right? 1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm not leaving. I got stuff to talk to you about now.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll be able to talk to me in about this much time. Yeah, this is gonna be way better.
Hashtag worst ending ever.
Best ending ever. Yeah, this is so much better when the video works. What? Motherfuckers!
There's no volume? Are you going to sing? Are you going to pull out the guitar?
Oh, is there no music?
There's no music.
Motherfucker. That sucks. No, I must have looked like a crazy person. There was music on my end. So anyway, that didn't work. Anyway.
I agree. Right. As Lodi, it is very funny to watch him dancing.
I got real excited. I wonder, okay. Do you have one more? Do you have 1 more minute?
I've got time. I've got time. I'm just trying to salvage the ending. I mean,
yeah, you're right. All right, let's get it right. I got an idea. This is good. This is gonna work. And if it doesn't, if I start dancing around like crazy, maybe tell me before it's almost done, fuckers. Now, granted, like I would have done that to me also. How about this?
There it is.
Okay. All right.
I'm not the bubble. 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 I'm not the bubble.
A little better with the music.
I'm not the bubble. 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 I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble. I'm the.
That's funny. I didn't cut the end off it. I'm such a jerk. I should probably fix that. Anyway, thank you guys very much for joining us. I got to chat with my co-host dude here for a minute, presumably, after I've kept him up already really late. So tomorrow, 9:00 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna do the thing. Who's on tomorrow again? Oh yeah, Upland. Sorry, you just said that. You're muted still, so that's not gonna work. And
Connor from Upland back.
Yeah. That's awesome.
From the past or the future or somewhere. I don't know.
Yes. And then the Recurrier and I are doing the clusterfuck at 2 p.m. which I love that name. Sometimes I wonder if it's too edgy, and then the rest of the time I don't give a shit. So it works out really well.
See you all tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.